amazing! Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mrs. Lita. And your learning activity for this meeting is explanation text. An explanation text is a kind of text which tell or explain process relating to forming of natural or social phenomena or how something works. To make you more understand about explanation text, let's turn to the definition, the structure, and the language feature used in the explanation text. Let's get started. In this session, you will learn about the definition, the social function, the generic structure, and the language feature of explanation text. The definition of explanation text. Explanation can be spoken or written, and its purpose is to tell each step of the process, the how, and or to give reasons, the why. So explanation text, it is to say why and how of the forming of the phenomena. Explanation texts are factual genre. As a genre, explanation detail and logically describe the stage in a natural, social, or technological phenomenon of our world. In conclusion, explanation texts combine how and why. The social function. The social function of explanation text is a text which tells processes relating to forming of natural, social, scientific, and cultural phenomena. The second social function is to explain how and why something works or happens. There are some language features used in explanation text. The grammatical points that are typical of this text type. First, use of technical term. The second one, use of words that show cause and effect. The third one, use of passive voice pattern. The fourth one, use of simple present tense. Next, use of abstract noun and use of noun phrase. Use of technical term. Technical terms are an essential part of all technical and scientific writing. And use of words that show cause and effect, for example, what the word that indicate the sentence is cause and effect, because, caused by, thanks to another. And the use of passive voice pattern. The passive voice pattern means that you will find the passive voice that indicate the sentence is a passive pattern. It's indicated by using verb 3 in the sentence. And the use of simple present tense. Explanation text and commonly write in a simple present tense because explanation texts are factual genre. Use of abstract noun. Abstract noun is a noun that refers to an intangible concept such as an emotion, a feeling, a quality, or an idea. That is called an abstract noun. For example, I feel, I think, that's called abstract noun. In the dishonesty, friendship, what is other example of abstract noun? confusion, date, delay, dishonesty, divorce, and other. Those are an abstract noun. And an action verb. What is action verb? Action verb is a physical verb that used to indicate an action. Because in explanation text, we use a simple present tense. Of course, the action verb will use verb 1. And when the sentence uses passive voice pattern, the action verb will be changed into verb 3. And use of noun phrases. Noun phrase is a group of 2 or more words headed by a noun that include modifier the, of them, with her. A noun phrase plays the role of a noun. In a noun phrase, the modifier can come before or after the noun. For example, dog. It could be the dog. Girl. A girl. A girl is noun phrases. Girl is a noun. It's indicated with a determiner or modifiers. Vocabulary. Few words or phrases that often appear. Of course, a sequence word, first, second, and third, indicate or showing cause and effect, because, lead to, however, next, and include. This is a vocabulary that usually find in explanation text. Let's turn to the generic structure of explanation text. There are 3 generic structure. The first is general statement, not generic statement. This is general statement. General statement is a stating the phenomenon issues which are to be explained. This can be in the form of a question. For example, how does a car engine work? So in the general statement, it is about the phenomenon issue which is to be explained. It is to introduce the topic. The process being explained may be highlighted in a little or in the first sentence or stage. And the second structure is sequence explanation. Sequence explanation stating a series of steps which explain the phenomenon. It consists of sequence explanation of why or how something occurs, or a series of chronological steps which explain how or why something happened. And the last is concluding statement that sum up the explanation. I will give you the tips how to write an explanation text and what should I write. First, think about the generic structure. The generic structure, write what is going to be explained. It may include a description, question, or a brief description. The first generic structure, like we have learned before, is general statement or introduction. This is the part where you write what is going to be explained. It may include a description, question, or brief description that indicate to introduce the topic. And the second part of the explanation text is Sequence explanation. This is a series of chronological steps which explain how or why something happened. In explanation text, it could be answer the question how and why or both of them. When you start your writing or your text by explain how something works, you can lead by some question, what it is used for, what each part does, how the parts work together, and how to use it. And when your explanation, starting or showing why something happened, you can start by question how and why it started and what happened next after that and finally. So in a sequence explanation, you give the brief explanation in chronological order about the step and answer how and why something happened. And the last paragraph in explanation text is called concluding statement. You may want to include interesting comments, a summary, or a recommendation about what you have explained. This is optional paragraphs, everyone, because if you want to state your explanation text by sum up about your explanation, you can write in the last paragraph, especially in the parts of concluding statement. Next, everyone, explanation and procedure text has the similarities. They are explain or give information for the reader about how and why something work or happen. But remember, explanation and procedure tags are different. Explanation tags describe how certain phenomenon or event happens and form in the mode of description. However, procedure tags is describe how to make something which is close to our daily activity or form in the mode of instruction. When you find the procedure tags, you only find some instruction about how to make something or how to use something. But in explanation tags, you will find the brief explanation or description about the chronological step of how and why something work and happen. That's the differences between procedure tags and explanation tags. To make you more understand about explanation tags, I will give you example. When you want to analyze a text, it belongs to procedure or explanation tags. You will be led by the question in the title. You can use why, how, and what. To lead you, give an explanation about how, why, and what something happened and what something worked. The title of the text is Why Tenfold Change. Here, I also provide to analyze the word that indicate the scientific word, action verb, and the sequencing word and cause and effect that indicate the language feature used in explanation text. If you see the red word, it could be scientific word, and if you read in the text in a green word, it indicates action verb, and if you see the blue word, it indicates sequencing words and a cause and effect. Let's start it. Why tadpoles change? Frogs are amphibians. Amphibians spend part of their lives underwater. young frogs start their life in the water as tadpole. First, the female frog lays lots of eggs, so some will survive from being eaten by fish and other animals. The eggs are smacked and often laid inside white foam. Next, the eggs hatch into tadpoles. Tadpoles have a gill so they can breathe underwater and a strong tail to help them swim. As the tadpole grow bigger, they start to change because they need to become a frog. Their tail becomes smaller and they begin growing legs. The back legs grow first, followed by the front legs. Tadpoles also start to develop lungs because they have to be ready to breathe on the land and when they become a frog. Tadpoles may be found in billabongs, lakes, swamps, or even in puddles after heavy rain. So everyone, the word that indicates scientific word is amphibian, tadpole, survive, H, gill, and a lungs. And the action verb start, lays, grow, become, maybe another. And the sequencing word and indicate cause and effect first, next. It's a sequencing word and cause and effect that showing or indicate cause and effect because followed by because one another. So look at the first paragraph. The first paragraph it's called the general statement or introduction. The second, third, fourth, fifth, and the last paragraph is called a sequence explanation of the state. How tadpole changes into a frog. This is the process of the tadpole change into frogs. So this text belongs to explanation text. I will give you the other example of explanation text. This is what causes food poisoning. From the title, we can know that the text is explanation text because the reader need a reason what cause or answer what causes food poisoning. Let's read the text first. What causes food poisoning? Food poisoning is a disorder of the stomach and intestine caused by bacteria or chemical in foods. The classic form of a food poisoning is caused by Staphylococcus bacteria, commonly known as staph. The staph germs enter the food during preparation. As a result of the food not properly refrigerated, the bacteria multiply hourly, contaminating the food with toxin or poison. As staph germs and their toxin are odorless and tasteless, the contaminated food smell and taste normal. Eating contaminated food causes vomiting, abdominal cramps, and diarrhea within 1 to 6 hours. This food poisoning is frequently caused by Staphylococcus which contaminate food during preparation and enter the stomach and intestine during eating. So everyone, from this text, we can know that the explanation text give us an information about what causes food poisoning, the process food poisoning. For the first paragraph, it's a general statement or introduction about a food poisoning. What is a food poisoning? And the second and the third paragraph, it's called the sequence explanation of the process food poisoning. And the last paragraph is called conclusion. That's the structure of this text. And the grammatical feature. Let's analyze the grammatical feature of this text. Use of technical term. Like I said or explained before about technical term. It's a technical language used stomach and intestine. And technical term is essential part of technical and scientific writing. Its field and specialty typically uses a vocabulary that relates a variety of specialized concepts by means of a technical language. This quantification allows the concept to be manipulated mathematically. And words showing how and why it indicate cause and effect. As a result, it indicate the cause and effect. Timeless present tense, of course, use action verb causes because the timeless or the tenses used in an explanation text is a simple present tense. It's indicated by using verb 1, as or es, and the generic terms. The generic terms, for example, is food. The generic term means that a word or phrases that is used to describe some general or fact group or class rather than some specific thing. So foods is in a common, and there are some kinds of food. So this is called generic terms. It explains or describes some general or fact group or class. And in this text, we can also find a passive voice as one of grammatical feature of explanation text. Look at the second paragraph in the first sentence. The classical form of food poisoning is caused by Staphylococcus bacteria, commonly known as staph. It's caused by, it indicates the sentence is passive voice. So those are the explanation of explanation text. Yeah, this is the last slide of mine. So it's indicate that the explanation of the learning activity today is enough. That's all about the explanation text. And to sum up, I will give you a resume that the learning activity today is about explanation text. It's explain or tell us about process relating to performing of combine how and why something work or in a process, and the generic structure is general statement or introduction, a sequence explanation, and conclusion. And explanation and procedure text are different. If the explanation is a procedure text, it's how to make something and how to use something in instruction. But explanation text, you will find the information in a complete explanation or description about how and why something works. So that's all about my explanation for today. Thank you very much for watching, and please, if you do not understand yet, you can find other source from the book or the internet about the definition, the explanation, to make sure that you have a good understanding about explanation text, and practice more and keep watching to get a more experience. Goodbye.